good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp 925-32621, or you can call us. Certainly would like to hear your voice in this fantastic Friday afternoon. Toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255 is our Flo toll free call. Dr. Nicole Eastman, doctor of osteopathic medicine. And just for those who don't know me, just like a medical doctor, full training if you're in the US, the MCAT, med school, all the same thing, but whether it's getting into surgery or prescription medicine or just that and then some.
Yes.
So, this is, was it the real deal in the shebang? But having that approach, having that training and that acumen and that intellect, perhaps prepares you now to be able to say, as people talk and listen, as people experience life, as you share with us. We talked before the break, this thing that we hear in the Cayman context probably exists in other societies, other communities, but we hear crabs in the bar mentality, crabs in the bucket. How do we overcome that? What do we do about that?
One, I think it's important to talk about it. And two, I think competition can be healthy. I look at how I've increased my skills, and for me, it's about being inspired by people. I'm the type of person where I tend to see other people's gifts, where I've never really had that spirit of envy, so I don't necessarily understand it. And I think that's really damaging. And I think a lot of times that comes from people not seeing their own gifts. Maybe as a child, there was comparison where your brother does this and your sister does this instead of encouraging each child's individual gifts. I think it can start at home. It can start in the classroom when, so and so's behaving badly, that label, they're bad. I that's like a personal pet peeve of mine is when people tell kids they're bad, because there's a big distinction between an action or a behavior being bad and a person being inherently bad as a person. So I think that's really important to look at our words and how our words can affect kids.
Now, with that, Dr. Eastman, as we look at the behavior, say within the Cayman context, and seeing the relatively small size of the community, even if you were to break it down into subsets, it should conceivably be a lot easier for more people to rise to the top, to have success, whether that's measured in wealth or their accomplishments, academic or otherwise. Or is it because the size is so small, the pool is so small, the pond is so small, that it becomes more difficult? To your mind, which is it?
There's something that I noticed on this island where I feel like this island can almost trap people. Instead of thinking about the possibilities of what you can do on a global scale, people just think, what can I do here in Cayman? There is an unlimited source of opportunity online. So if you take somebody's gift and then you teach them how to build an online business, all of a sudden Cayman's borders were just taken away. I think allowing more opportunities for different trade programs. I know during all of the political debates, people talked about that. I don't have much of a voice in terms of politics here, but I think that's really important to build trade schools and give kids that opportunity, because again, academics isn't for everybody, and it shouldn't be, because a community can't survive if everybody is exactly the same. Um,
No, with that, Dr. Eastman, as you share now, reflect on something that we hear often, oh, she's a big fish in a small pond, or, you know, the converse of that. And people who come here can see the opportunities, can realize the potential because they've been exposed to it, as opposed to some reason people who are here. Here's an example. Well, actually, let me give you another example of something. Widen those boundaries and borders that you talked about. So a Caymanian business wants to trade in a certain area, but may not get the same level of reception locally and support, but then takes that business perhaps in the region, perhaps beyond the region and other parts, and has success. Why is that? That person can come from somewhere and set up shop in whatever area and have success compared to the person here. And then the person here who says, I cannot get that level of commerce, but if I trade regionally or internationally, the widget I'm selling, just takes off.
Well, I think part of it comes down to personal motivation and personal drive. I think it comes down to support, having people believe in you. That's one thing that I've never really felt like I fit in anywhere. And it it's something that you can look at yourself and like, well, why don't I fit in? But that's okay not to fit in. It's okay to be
Outlier.
different. It's okay to be an outlier. It's okay to be a change agent so that things are disrupted and that people do start talking. Because I've questioned, I'm like, why? I've told you the last time I was on, I was like, why was I brought to Cayman? I felt led here by faith. And then I found myself feeling isolated in Northside and Bodden Town and questioning what was the reason why I felt led here. And then I literally prayed for opportunities to get connected into the community and an opportunity to admin K-Moms and then to create K-Moms Buy and Sell came up. And it was a solution to a problem partly, which is why I started K-Moms Buy and Sell online. It's an online group and it's allowed me to meet countless people within the community. And had I not followed where I was feeling led to do, I could have just said, okay, well, I'm just not going to do anything. Or there's no hope in me growing. I just didn't stop. And I think people just finding that personal motivation to keep pushing forward and to not give up and to not think that you're incapable. If you feel incapable, then you need to get around someone like me to tell you that you're capable.
But many people, when they face with that sort of uphill battle, they've now been rejected. They've heard an author who has said, submission. Oh, wow, this is not going to work. That person who's applied for multiple jobs, more than adequately experienced, qualified, just gets a no. And they keep trying. That must weigh heavily on them and cause them to give up. Or what do we do then?
That's true, but a lot of the most amazing inspirational people heard no many, 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 many times before they heard a yes. I think about Michael Jordan. He was told that he wasn't good enough and he didn't give up. I think about Oprah. She was told that she wasn't good enough to be on TV. Well, I'm sure she's kind of laughing a bit now because she's done amazing. She didn't give up. And as I sit here and I sent my own book off to literary agents months ago, and I'm trusting and hoping and praying that I end up with a big publisher, I know what that feels like. On one hand, I'm like, am I stupid for not sending it out to more people? Or am I being wise to discern and be patient? Is this a moment of me having to exercise patience so that I get the best option possible? It can be hard at times.
So, to those people then who have heard no, maybe it's the book that they want published, maybe it's the job and they just send a resume after resume, perhaps interview or not, or it's the student who's applied to college or whatever that is, and that's always a no. Don't see that no as discouragement, but just see it as a way to continue to press on.
I mean, it can be discouraging. You're human, of course. I mean, I've failed in life. You know, I've not had an easy life, but you can learn from those moments of discouragement. You can grow deeper in faith when you feel weak. That's been a huge lesson for me. My marriage hasn't been easy, but now I'm in a place within my marriage 7 years later where we're stronger than we've ever been. But it took a lot of pain and it took feeling rejected and it took failure in order to get where I am today on several fronts.
So if you want something,
Persevere, and it can be hard, but you need to get yourself around people who are not crabs. You need to find that collaborative spirit. You need to, sometimes it takes saying no to family, no to friends, and yes to yourself.
What's the saying? How do you expect to soar like an eagle if you're working with buzzards or turkeys or something?
That's a good saying.
Is that the same mentality? So if you're not where you are, what is it? God move or move. If you're not where you are, where you think is conducive and productive and positive, then find that setting.
Right, and some people don't want to see you excel. So you really have to take a good inventory of who's in your inner circle. Not everybody who you call a friend is wanting you to rise to a higher level.
But how do you determine that you're around people you've always been around, and that's just the way they are. If they always say things that way because they're looking for your best, whatever that is, maybe they're family, and you can pick your friends, but you can't choose a family. They say so. These people are negative, perhaps. They're not as encouraging and nurturing. What do you do then?
You still have personal choices. You don't, no, you don't pick your family. You do pick your friends, but you have say over who you're going to spend your time with. Like I talked about at the beginning of this, you're not guaranteed your next moment. So, in order for you to have the best life possible, you need to be really wise and discerning who you want to give your time to. That's so important to me. If somebody's draining my energy, if somebody doesn't understand healthy boundaries, there's a book called Boundaries by Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend. And that was by far one of the best books and one of the most helpful resources that I read in 2016. And look at how people make you feel. If they are not happy when you succeed, but they're okay with you failing, that's a big indication that maybe you shouldn't spend all your time with them. You can love people from a distance.
And when you think about that whole idea that you have to be your best advocate, maybe we'll come back in our closing moments. Maybe share some of that stuff. How do we make sure this is self-love?
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to love yourself and start to see things being selfish.
No, big difference.
Okay, well, self-love or selfish? What's the difference? Please stay tuned. Talk today. I never did read that book. That's one way to when to say yes, when to say no. Those boundaries. You have to take control and be the captain.
It's a good book.
Yeah, yes, it's a good answer.